evening, questioning minds of the internet. I'm Alexa, the resident ooky spooky girly, and apparently today the powers that be have decided to ask the biggest questions known to mankind. How are we here and why? If that sounds like a toddler asked those questions, I promise one of them somewhere has, and a poor exasperated parent just wanted to shriek that they don't know. Let me know your theories on these secrets of the world, and here are the top 5 unexplained mysteries of the universe NASA can't figure out. Number 5, is there life beyond Earth? Now, while today we're exclusively talking about NASA's perspective on things, I'm a firm believer that aliens are out there somewhere, possibly poking their head near Earth from, time to time, watching us be, well, idiots. Every week, it's getting a lot easier to believe in aliens. If you haven't been keeping up with all the government whistleblower stuff, I'd recommend looking into it like ASAP. Especially the David Grush whistleblower reports. Easily some of the most credible reporting that's ever happened when it comes to this out-of-the-world stuff. No matter how improbable the origin of life on Earth may have been, and I promise I will get to that, there should, in theory, be many other living planets in the universe. Look, there are about 100 billion galaxies in the observable universe, each containing tens of billions of stars. Many of these stars have planets, so even if life only forms on one planet out of every trillion, the number of life-bearing planets in the universe should be, according to my calculations, a lot. I wasn't good at math in high school, and I'm still not good at it now, but trust me, the science says there should be quite a few. Feel free to do the math for yourself. In our own solar system, a few locations appear to be hospitable to microbial life. The planet Mars, the subsurface ocean of Europa, which is one of Jupiter's Galilean moons, and maybe the warm interior of Saturn's satellite Enceladus. I swear I looked up how to pronounce that one, but if I butchered it, I blame the headache I've had all day. Mars is pretty popular for theories of Martians, be it previous beings who lived there or current elusive populations. The discovery of Martian bacteria, either extant or extinct, would immediately tell astrobiologists that life is extremely common in the universe. So far, however, nothing has been found, although there's plenty of evidence that Mars was warmer and wetter in its distant past. Casting their wets a little bit wider, astronomers are just starting to sniff out the atmosphere of exoplanets, which is a whole other can of worms. I only just learned about them this year, and that's a whole other video. But an exoplanet or extrasolar planet is a planet outside of the solar system. The first possible evidence of an exoplanet was noted in 1917, but was not recognized as such, making the first confirmation of detection happening officially in 1992. A different planet, initially detected in 1988, was confirmed in 2003. As you know, of the time of my chattering today, there are 5,484 confirmed exoplanets in 4,047 planetary systems, with 875 systems having more than one planet. Not to overstate the obvious, but that's a lot. And I'm pretty sure that's without counting the planets that have been swallowed by black holes. If a planet's atmosphere turns out to contain substantial quantities of oxygen and methane, it's almost certain it must have living organisms on its surface. On Earth, it took billions of years for life to evolve from single cellular organisms to anything bigger than the itty-bitty Annabelle doll that lives on my desk. Looking for microbial life may therefore give us the best chance of success. On the other hand, that restricts the search to planetary systems in our immediate neighborhood. That's why some researchers are trying to eavesdrop on the radio communications of alien civilizations. If they exist, they could be picked up from the other side of the Milky Way, but that assumes that the biological evolution of life necessarily leads to intelligence and technology. For now, no matter how likely the existence of extraterrestrial life seems, it is still technically an unproven hypothesis. I doubt how much longer though, with how many whistleblowers and informants coming forward. Number 4, the Big Bang Theory. Alrighty, I'll allow a single moment for everyone to mentally let the Bare Naked Ladies theme song from the popular sitcom run through their head. And moment over. The theory is the leading explanation for how the universe began. I think the easiest way to explain it is that it says the universe as we know it started with an infinitely hot and dense single point that inflated and stretched, first at unimaginable speeds and then at a more measurable rate over the next 13.7 billion years to the still expanding cosmos that we know today. Existing technology doesn't yet allow astronomers to literally peer back at the universe's birth, meaning much of what we understand about the Big Bang comes from mathematical formulas and models. If you want to look up the formulas, that's entirely up to you. I'm not even going to try to break those down, because knowing me, I'd get lost partway through and then I'd be finding my way back for the rest of today's video. But after all that, it's still only a theory. To find out the cause of the Big Bang, you assume a prior event that apparently had a universe-spawning effect. Perhaps the Big Bang not only amounted to the creation of matter and energy, but also the origin of space and time itself. In that case, it's difficult to talk about a logical cause. This is heavy philosophical stuff, so it's hardly surprising that cosmologists have tried to circumvent the spontaneous creation of a universe out of nothing. Until recently, some scientists held the view that the universe would someday recollapse, eventually leading to another bang. But we've since learned that the current expansion of the universe will probably never stop, so that idea went away. Instead, some physicists suggest that the Big Bang was caused by our empty four-dimensional space-time colliding with another universe that floats next to ours in a higher dimensional bulk space. Experts still don't have a singular reason as to what caused the bang, if it's even true, so feel free to debate your take on the theory and what you believe in the comments. Number 3, did inflation happen? Obviously, I'm not talking about financials. The housing market and grocery chains have very much inflated over the last couple of years, and my goal of possibly owning a 2-bedroom condo in my city keeps slipping farther away, even with working 6 to 7 days every week. The theory says that inflation was an extremely brief burst of exponential growth at the start of the universe. Within a tiny fraction of a second, the universe doubled its size 100 times in succession before settling down in the much more sedate expansion it has experienced ever since. This rapid inflation, fueled by a mysterious form of energy that permeated empty space itself, left the universe pretty desolate and chilly. Only after that did the hot, dense conditions of the Big Bang emerge. As the doubling of the universe ceased, the energy of the vacuum underwent a metamorphosis, transforming into particles of matter and radiation. That metamorphosis flooded space with the super hot plasma of the Big Bang, which forged the primordial elements that went on to make the stars and galaxies we see today. I can hear y'all now, but Alexa, did it actually happen? Maybe. Inflation was greeted by cosmologists as a solution to the annoying problem that asked how could the universe be so homogeneous if remote parts were never in touch with each other? The possible answer is that it blew up from the size of a subatomic particle to the size of a grapefruit, so our observable universe, now some 27 billion light years across, was small enough for any inhomogeneities to be ironed out. Moreover, inflation explains why the large-scale curvature of our universe appears to be 0. Despite this theory, there's very little direct evidence for inflation. Space inflation, that is. Number 2. What ingredients make up our universe? The short answer is super easy. No bleeping idea. The familiar matter that we do know about, atoms and molecules, is just the tip of this crazy iceberg. By far the largest amount of matter is dark and consists of unknown particles. If that wasn't mysterious enough, the vacuum of empty space is filled with a mysterious dark energy that accelerates the expansion of the universe. We're not only missing the bulk of the iceberg, we also know zilch about the dark ocean in which it floats. Dark matter reveals its presence by its gravitational influence. This can be seen in observations of the rotational velocities of galaxies, the motions of those galaxies in giant clusters, and the way the gravity of the clusters bends the light from the background objects, which is observed during gravitational lensing. All suggest that the total amount of matter in the universe is about 30 times more than what can be seen with telescopes. So, maybe could dark matter be accounted for by dim stars, cold gas clouds, and black holes? Nah, not even close to that easy. If all the dark matter were composed of baryons, which are the protons and neutrons that make up atomic nuclei, the universe would look kinda different. With so many baryons around, the nuclear fusion reactions that occurred during the Big Bang would have produced a different mix of elements. So if you accept the Big Bang theory, there's no way out. The vast majority of the material content of the universe really is composed of mysterious non-baryonic particles, and then you add dark energy into the mix. A catchy name, but no one knows what it is. In 1998, astronomers discovered that the current expansion rate of the universe is larger than it was a few billion years ago. Apparently, the expansion of the universe is speeding up, despite the mutual gravitational attraction of galaxies that is expected to slow it down. Dark energy, which can be thought of as being like the repulsive force of empty space, is held responsible for this acceleration. Some 70% of the full content of the universe consists of dark energy. The remaining 30% is matter, but only a small part of this matter, roughly 4% of the total content of the universe, is composed of ordinary particles. And at most 1/4 of this baryonic matter is visible to us as stars and gas clouds. Most cosmologists are happy with the concordance model. All of the jigsaw pieces appear to fit nicely, but the only teensy-weensy problem is that nobody knows what the puzzle represents. Number 1. How fragile was the creation of Earth? Imagine a world without gravity, skyscrapers, or even animals. According to some very popular theories, if one little thing had been different during the creation of the world, the life we know could have been drastically different. Our material universe consists of elementary particles, governed by the 4 forces of nature. Physicists can measure particle properties like the mass ratio between protons and electrons. They can study the strength and behavior of gravity, electromagnetism, and the 2 nuclear forces. And they can determine a host of physical constants, like the speed of light. But no one knows why all those values are what they are. So now I feel a lot better, knowing I dropped science when I did in high school. But the very, very popular question is, why is the universe the way it is, and could it have been different? One thing is crystal clear: don't mess with the cosmos, which honestly lends a lot to time travel theories, how going back in time and messing with so much as adding a body is able to drastically alter the fabric of the world as we know it. Just a slight change in the mass or charge of a particular type of particle, or a tiny increase in the strength of one's, nature forces, would render the universe devoid of stars, planets, and life. It looks as if nature has been tweaked to produce complexity, or fine-tuned for the emergence of life. So if the fundamental properties of the universe are the lucky outcome of a random process, it seems like a heck of a coincidence that the result would be so perfectly tailored. If I'm talking betting man odds, if you only buy one lottery ticket, it's highly unlikely to be the winning one. On the other hand, if some yet to be discovered theory of everything allows only one possible universe, it's unclear why that unique solution would have to be a life-spawning one. The multiverse would be a possible solution to this mystery, where our universe is just one of a huge ensemble of many possible universes. If there are zillions of universes, all possible combinations of natural constants, particle properties, and strengths of forces could occur somewhere. Of course, we necessarily find ourselves in a universe that allows for the origin of life. Hey, I'm all for a multiverse theory. And that brings us to the end of our time, and my head is definitely spinning from the possibilities. Honestly, to me, space will always be the great unknown. And while I believe there are living beings out there, never ever ask me again to talk about the technical stuff. I hope you all enjoyed my ramblings today, and if you did, could you possibly help us out by giving this video a like, subscribing if you aren't already, hitting the bell for more space cases from us here at Top 5 Scary Videos, and I'll see y'all next time, you lovely spooky people.